All right, people, you guys are watching and or listening to another Nomadic Cole live stream for your guys' education and entertainment. Be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and of course subscribe for more epic, awesome, cool, funny, and interesting entertainment just like this one right here, right now on the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel. Guys, we have got a nomadic news underway for you guys for the month of August. And man, it has been a crazy news month, I must say. I've got a lot of stuff written down over here that I'll go over to just kind of gather my thoughts together and sort of keep this stream moving. So let's dive directly into it. First off, I want to start us off with a weather update, guys. For the most part today, it has been pretty hot, mostly sunny with some partial cloudy skies in the local area. Also, want to point out that the other day it was actually a triple-digit heat wave across the United States of America. So, man, make sure you guys stay in the shade and put on the AC because it was a hot one yesterday, and it's actually been pretty dry and sunny in most parts of the U.S. the last 4 or 5 days or so. So yeah, and just now it's actually starting to overcast and actually get some light rain coming in to the region as well. Next up on the list, we have the tsunami update. The tsunami update, guys. So if you don't remember, the other, kind of earlier the other week, we had a tsunami coming into the local region from Russia because there was a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake in the top 10 largest earthquakes in like all time since we've started recording earthquakes. Big earthquake, and it actually created a tsunami watch for the entire Pacific, and no significant damages were reported in the local region. There was some minor flooding, but that was the worst extent of the tsunami. So minor flooding and some bizarre natural phenomena that comes with tsunamis, such as receding tides and water flowing upstream. Very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Anyways, we've got the next part of this. We've got the news on the president. So the president of the United States, Donald Trump, he's been entangled actually in a scandal quite recently, and it's been going on for the last almost a month or so now with the Epstein files. He still refuses to release the Epstein files and has continuously contradicted himself, going back and forth, whether it's a Democratic hoax, whether it doesn't exist, or whether it does exist and the FBI has it. It's a continuously contradicting story with the administration around this scandal as he tries to tiptoe around it, and it's just not going to go away that easily, especially because he ran so heavily on the release of these Epstein files, and he didn't do it. Now, with the Epstein files, now President Donald Trump is actually in even deeper trouble as he's going in and trying to have the FBI redact his name off of all the files. And apparently Donald Trump's name appears 9 times within the Epstein files. And I know this because my good friend, billionaire, legendary billionaire Shelby Pikachu, guys, leaked the files, and I put it on my posts. So if you want to know, go down the rabbit hole, know about the Epstein files, know about everything that's going on, well, guys, go check out his videos on the topic because he goes deep into it, takes you down the rabbit hole. It's very, very interesting seeing how both sides of the political spectrum are on there. You have the Mossad on there. It's just a crazy, crazy thing, and they hit it and they tried to hide it in plain sight from a letter from Pam Bondi to the White House, and they it was intercepted by, of all people, um, former um, former Senate candidate, legendary billionaire Shelby Pikachu. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? Next up on the list, we've got the nuclear subs in Russia that Donald Trump sent over to Russia because apparently their former president was criticizing Donald Trump and his administration. So Donald Trump got very upset and decided to take not Russian submarines, but nuclear submarines. He decided to take the nuclear submarines from the United States Navy and bring them up into Russian waters up in the Arctic. And this is very scary. Donald Trump said that he is prepared for nuclear war, and I just don't think that's the flex the president thinks it is. Very scary stuff. Kind of a little bit nerve-wracking on that one. But so far, nothing of significance has been done in response by Russia, and let's hope it just stays that way. Let's hope it's just a minor standoff, and we just end up forgetting about this and going on our merry ways. But yeah, again, more interventionist policy by Donald Trump in that one. And speaking of Russia, we have next the Russiagate hoax is being released by Tulsi Gabbard at the Department of Intelligence, and Donald Trump is basically trying to use the Russiagate hoax as a distraction and a pivot point to go back after the Democrats and take the blame off of himself, who appears again in the Epstein files about 9 times. So Donald Trump kind of using this to try and distract from the files, to avoid talking about the Epstein files, and it's just it's a very sad attempt. Now, what is being released though about the Russiagate hoax though is pretty interesting. You kind of go into it and see that there was some misconduct by President Obama, who was going in and trying to essentially get a smear story out about Donald Trump that would benefit the country, and had his intelligence agencies go over and essentially come up with false information that said that Donald Trump had been tied in with Russia. What actually happened is that Russia has this news source called the Russia Times, and the Russian Times had decided to make some memes about really both parties in the election, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And that was sort of the scapegoat that Hillary Clinton was peddling around, saying that Russia had interfered in the election. But there's really no such evidence about that. And anybody who read the Durham report knows it. The Durham report basically overturned the whole thing and found that it was all misguided and it was all a hoax, and it was just a bunch of suits and ties trying to tie up the president when he was running for office and trying to get him a scandal, basically. But the real scandal is the Epstein files, and the reason the Democrats had to choose the Russiagate hoax, why they don't want to release the Epstein files, is because, well, they have guys on the Epstein files too. They have Bill Clinton, who's obviously on the Epstein files. He flew to the island 28 times. Clearly has some miles, some frequent flyer miles on the Lolita Express. As well as other people. You have like Rockefellers, Rothschilds. You have Ehud Barak on top of these files. Several Hollywood celebrities. I'm sure Diddy's on there as well. So yeah, it's just a crazy situation all around on that one. And yeah, it's basically Donald Trump is trying to use the Russiagate hoax to run cover for him. And it's not really working because still everybody is commenting, release the list. We want to see the files released. Like, we're tired of these files not being released. It's crazy that they aren't, guys. It is insane that they aren't being released. Just insane. Just insane. What do we have next to go over? There we go. Next up, we got Donald Trump wants UFC at the White House. So Donald Trump also in this situation of trying to distract from the Epstein files posted that he wanted to host UFC at the White House. And guess what? Dana White actually said that he wants to do UFC on the White House lawn. I think they're going to do Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor is what they're trying to do there. It's just bread and circuses, honestly, trying to distract from the Epstein files, trying to give people bread and circuses. It's so stupid, and like honestly, it's kind of disrespectful to the importance of the seat of presidency to just have like we're gonna put an MMA ring on the freaking White House lawn and stream it for this, corporate TKO deal. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. Yeah, just a wild story. Very crazy. Donald Trump also recently had a small foreign policy victory with an EU trade deal, managing to wind everything down to a 15% tariff, which is actually better than the previous EU trade deal, except for on like metal, basically, except for on metal and aluminum manufacturing. That is really the main one. That, and it's also Donald Trump said that he wants to put a 100% tariff on computer motherboards and computer chips. So that might not work out too well for us if that goes through. But yeah, small foreign policy victory. This is nowhere near like on the scale of his former agreement, which I think he should have kept. A USMCA was actually a fine deal and, was doing pretty good for the economy. And now you're putting all this protectionist policies and tariffs on every single country, pretty much. And now you're just, you put all these tariffs on these countries, and then you're basically taxing yourself. And everybody, the consumer, is the one ultimately paying for all of this. So it's very sad to see this. It definitely will hurt business in the future. And Trump is trying to say that his economy is doing great, but pretty much every economist, Kevin O'Leary, freaking Dr. Ron Paul, are basically saying that this economy is not going to work long term, and we might actually sputter into a recession. Next, we have AI clankers. AI clankers on YouTube are gathering user data en masse and judging if YouTube users are over 18 or not, and stopping them from viewing content which may or may not be suitable for their age. So basically, YouTube is collecting your data and using AI to try and decipher if you're over 18-year-old or adult. That is crazy. That is bonkers, and it's going to probably hurt the creators. Honestly, Susan is not gone. Susan is dead, but she's not gone clearly because her policies still ripple to this day. With her basically protege is basically just continuing her policies, her dreadful policies of tyranny on YouTube, and it's so sad. I just wish that we could get the old YouTube back, guys. I wish we could get the old YouTube back because it's sad. It's sad that these AI clankers are trying to take our gerbs. They're trying to mess with us and take our gerbs. We can't believe it. Stupid clankers. Yeah, and they're trying to keep you from watching the YouTube videos you want. They're censoring freedom of speech, and overall they're just no good. That's what I'm going to say about these AI YouTube clanker bots. Always destroying the comment section too. Typing dumb stuff in the comments. Ticking me off, man. Ticking me off. It's so bad. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Next, we've got our Maha Minute for this nomadic news. To start it off, 6 states have banned junk food off of Snap EBT at a Maha win. The Maha movement still making great strides on food. Taxpayers should absolutely not be funding junk food, candy, and chocolates, and Takis, and soda pops. It should not be funding that stuff. It should be supplemental nutrition. It is a supplemental nutrition assistance programs. You should be using SNAP to buy a litany of things, actually. You can buy bread, you can buy milk, you can buy eggs, you can buy flour, you can buy yogurt, you could buy fruit, you could buy vegetables, you could buy meat, you can buy microwave burritos. You can buy microwave burritos. Those are really good. You should be able to buy microwave burritos, honestly. You can buy canned goods. You can buy, honey, jam, and I think a few other things too. Eggs. You can buy all that stuff with Snap EBT. That's fine. But you shouldn't be buying, like, candy bars with it. Like, come on, guys. Buying candy bars, that's just going to make you it's just gonna make you fat and chubby, and you don't want to be fat and chubby. That'd be terrible. Like, lift some weights, get in the gym, get healthy, start eating right, eat some fruits, eat some vegetables from time to time, eat some meat. Do some Tai Chi, drink your milk, take your vitamins. Yeah, that's what we need. That's how you get healthy. That's how you become healthy again. America. Next, RFK Jr. has removed toxic thimerosal from the inoculations, guys. It's a great thing, actually, to hear that the inoculations have finally had this mercury-based toxic chemical removed from them. It was only really doing damage. There are way better adjuvants to use in these inoculations that are way better for people and actually just provide better results overall, are less likely to have an allergic reaction, and are less likely to long-term do damage on study, because there are so many studies that haven't been done. So thank you, RFK Jr. at Maha, for getting this Maha victory, getting toxic thimerosols out of the inoculations. It's a very, very, very noble thing to do, and the shit libs are going mad on it, but honestly, I could care less. That's actually a really good thing. Sadly, there's been some setbacks in the environmental part. Handcuff is in the chat. He says, E. Very nice. Sadly, the environmental part of Maha is not being followed at all by Donald Trump, as the EPA has deregulated PFAs and PFOAs, forever chemicals, in drinking water. And guys, this is just yet another massive failure by the EPA right now. It started off with Lee Zeldin deregulating PFOAs and PFAs on agriculture and on land, and now it's being deregulated in drinking water as well. It also started off with Lee Zeldin having gone in and made a loophole for polluters to not follow the Clean Air Act. It's very, very disappointing to see that they're just trying to poison everybody, and the effects are already taking place, guys. I mean, if you don't see it happening, it is. You're seeing the grass is starting to dry up. It's you're seeing that actually they're doing studies and they're finding that photosynthesis is actually being messed with all these microplastics inside the environment. And this is just from years of pollution in general, but it's not like these EPA, PFAS and PFOA deregulation is going to help that much anyways, because they're going to be spraying oil-based chemicals all over your food. They're spraying glyphosate and diquat and just a litany of other terrible things all over the food, and it's really a step in the wrong direction at EPA. And honestly, they're going to need to reverse this in the next 4 years. They're going to have someone go in and reverse this. Maybe that's what RFK Jr. should do after he is done with HHS. I think he should go, and for the next administration, he should try and ally himself with like Tulsi Gabbard and try to become the EPA secretary, and continue to make America healthy again. I think that's what he should do. Lastly, there's a new CDC head. Handcuff says, I heard National Socialist Group in Australia is marching in the streets of Melbourne. It'll be on the news tomorrow or today. Interesting, yeah. I don't really associate with any of those folks. I have met like an eco-nationalist socialist, an eco-national socialist once, and that was really weird. He was a very weird guy, and I think he was trying to recruit me into like his skinhead thing in the woods or whatever. Yeah, he was a weird dude, man. And yeah, these National Socialists are freaks, bro. Honestly, like I'm not really big fans of them. But anyways, CDC has a new head executive. It is a deep state mole that is in step with the AI clinker takeover, AI-loving deep state mole, and Susan Menares. And people are upset in the Maha movement with this choice. It's a bad choice, clearly. She's all for the AI data collection, and I think that's what her main thing is. RFK Jr., he's been using AI to cipher through large amounts of patient information, and he's really trying to get to the bottom of what causes autism and what causes the chronic disease epidemic. And ciphering through all these large amounts of data is crucial to do it by his deadline of September. But still, it's having the AI deep state person, the AI deep state mole, not a good look, guys. Not a good look at all. Handcuff says, also recently, a virus transmitted by mosquitoes was discovered. Bill Gates was recently talking about transmitting mRNA inoculations into people. It's very interesting. Those darn clankers. They took our germs. Man. Clankers. Yep, and Susan Menares is just another stepping stone in the way to the clanker AI takeover of the whole internet as the countdown continues. Very, very sad. Today is August 8th, which is the 2-year anniversary of the Lahaina wildfires, guys. And let me tell you guys, it is such a somber thought to think about that. Thinking back to the Lahaina wildfire, 102 people lost their lives. Many more were injured. Hundreds were displaced from their homes in Lahaina. Many businesses destroyed. And it's just a testament to why we need better wildland fire prevention, why we need, obviously, we need to take care of our environment more, why we need contact. It is why we need basically these people. We need more funding towards wildland fire prevention. We obviously need better PSAs to deliver people information on how they can prevent and create defensible space, how they can prevent wildland fires. Handcup says it's a sad day for those people that lost their lives. Yeah. So yeah, basically, in honor of the Lahaina wildland fires, survivors, and the victims of it, I think we're going to do a 1 minute moment of silence for them. Yeah. And that was our moment of silence to honor the victims of the Lahaina wildland fire. It's a very sad, somber time. Very sad for those that have lost their lives in that tragedy. In foreign affairs news, Israel has decided upon occupying Gaza. So basically, Bibi Netanyahu has decided that after months of the blockade and starving the Palestinians and innocent people, he has decided now he is going to move on Gaza and officially occupy the region. They let a tiny amount of minuscule amount of foreign aid in to actually feed a few of these people, but it was very short lived. They essentially went in and set up these things to fail. They set up the food distribution to fail purposely. Many of them broke out into essentially like riots because people would, starving people would come over to get the food and they'd riot over the food. They wouldn't have enough workers on hand to pass out the food. People would fight over the food, and then the IDF troops would begin firing rounds at the civilians fighting over the food scraps. Oftentimes they would abandon the situation. So now they are going in and essentially occupying the region, and this is all just a step in the direction towards the greater Israeli movement. They want to make greater Israel. They want to expand. They want the natural gas beneath the feet of the Palestinians. They want to send the Palestinians to third world countries where they are not home to, where they don't belong. And it's very depressing, very sad. You look at the footage, you see the carnage, you see the awful tragedies, you see the war crimes. You can't cover them up. They're blatant. They're right there in plain sight. I've discussed them before. This is just despicable by Bibi Netanyahu. And honestly, he should be ashamed of himself. He's a horrible person, a horrible human being. And quite frankly, I'm surprised there aren't more people in Israel actually protesting. I know there's some Jews that are actually going out and protesting them. There's people like Dr. Norman Finkelstein who are actually protesting this stuff. You hear rhetoric from Bernie Sanders talking about condemning Netanyahu. You see the Irish government stepping up and trying to actually basically trying to deploy the Peace Corps, or not Peace Corps, the peacekeepers, the UN peacekeepers. He's trying to activate the UN peacekeepers to actually do their jobs, and it's very sad that all this is happening. And Hankup has said here, we definitely need more resources to go towards fire departments. Like, I've been to small towns where they only have one or two fire trucks, especially around forested areas. I saw footage of that aid being sent to Gaza were immediately taken by Hamas, and they were shooting at the civilians. No, what was happening, Handcuff, I just explained, is that what would happen is these were set up to fail. There weren't enough workers, and people would begin to fight over the food because these people have been starved for 6 months. They begin to fight over the food, fight over scraps of canned beans, and then IDF soldiers would come in and begin firing at the civilians. So there wasn't a Hamas there. Hamas is like barely organized anymore. Their leadership has been killed. Any Hamas members that still exist are mostly just guerrillas fighting out of underground tunnels, and whoever's hiding whatever's probably just dead bodies at this point. I don't think there's really any more citizens that are still living left in Gaza that haven't either died from starvation, died from conditions, or died from being bombed by their own government. So it's a very sad situation in general. But yeah, that's basically how it went down. And people saying that there's Hamas there, that's just Israeli propaganda. It's fake news. Israeli propaganda. In other foreign policy, there's an Indonesian revolution going on recently, and they're using the One Piece flag as their banner, guys, and it's crazy. I actually really like the idea of using the One Piece flag as a banner. Indonesia, they're kind of an island nation out, I believe, like north of Australia, and they, you know, their people are pretty upset with their government. There's a lot of political turmoil going on over there. They just elected a new person in, and people aren't really happy. So now the Indonesians are flying this straw hat, skull and crossbones banner from One Piece, and they're flying it alongside an Indonesian flag, upside down Indonesian flags, which is pretty funny. An upside down Indonesian flag is actually just a Polish flag, but yeah, they're flying it alongside upside down Indonesian flags and Palestinian flags as well. So yeah, very very fun stuff over there. And yeah, I get behind it. I'm behind it with the Indonesian banner, especially because the government is trying to censor the One Piece flag. So now even more of a reason to fly a One Piece flag, guys. And it's a pretty sick banner. I like the straw hat, skull and crossbones flag, and it's just a flag of liberation. So I can get behind it. I'm a stream Wolfstein, the New Order, and Doom 2016 in a bit. Very nice. Very nice. Next, we've got news about the Democrats. The DNC still struggles to find its message and is actually planning on running Kamala Harris and former Lieutenant Governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, for president, much to the dismay of Vice Chair David Hogg of the DNC. But yeah, they're going to run these people in the primary. That's what we definitely know now. And the party is still looking for its message. You see, AOC and Bernie Sanders are going around pushing the democratic socialism message and trying to reach out to working class voters. You also see they're trying out Zoran Mamdani over in New York, which is really interesting as well. Rexus Prime is in the chat. He says, hello. Handcuff says, I've heard about the One Piece flag situation. I think it's hilarious since the government wants to call the server a terrorist, the banner a terrorist symbol. Mark says, hey, Handcuff. But yeah, they're trying out Mamdani in New York. We'll see how that works out for them. Yeah, DNC is still in shambles, and it's really a toss-up right now at this point, but I think they're going to end up going towards the progressive path. I think with AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Mamdani, I think that's their new direction, if you ask me. Then you've got Elon news. Elon has decided to basically go back to doing some oligarch stuff again. He's decided to have his company SpaceX get approved to illegally dump rocket parts in Hawaiian waters, which raises concerns about, obviously, environmental concerns, pollution, potential for a fuel leak or whatnot, damage to the coral reefs, etc. For sure, definitely disappointing to see Elon go this direction. And then you see as well, with this SpaceX allowed to illegally dump, is the way they were able to do it is apparently the EPA just allowed Elon Musk to do his own environmental checkup basically for his company, and they said it's a low risk. They investigated themselves, said that they found themselves of no foul play and no harm, and have decided to now illegally dump rocket parts in Hawaiian waters. I wish I joined the chat when it started, but I was on MGTOW Outlaws stream via StreamYard. Oh, nice. Nice, man. All right, I'm going to head out. Also disappointed in Elon for him to dump that stuff in Hawaii. Yeah, it's just he's being an oligarch again, and that's why he'll never be a real libertarian. And finally, to finish off this stream, we have some news about the Kilauea volcano. To end this on a nice higher note, the Kilauea volcano has had its 30th eruption this year, the other day, spewing lava showers as high as 70 feet. And guys, let me show you how that looked. Guys, it was really cool. It was very interesting just to watch it. Now, let me see if I can get this done right here.
The 30th episode to occur at Kilauea volcano since the summit eruption began on December 23, 2024, lasted for 12 hours on Wednesday, before ending abruptly just before 1 p.m. Like the previous episode, episode 30 did not produce the towering fountain seen earlier in the eruption, today reaching heights up to 300 feet or 90 meters. However, the episode did include the emergence of a new vent that erupted for a couple of hours. Precursory activity began on Monday, although very little could be seen from above the surface. On Tuesday morning, scientists with the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory spotted lava in the north vent during a helicopter flight. The lava was 15 to 30 feet or 5 to 10 meters below the top of the vent and was feeding a low volume into a lava tube. Activity picked up just before 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and as seen on this webcam, a set of small lava fountains formed from a new vent to the south. The observatory reported the new vent was associated with a cluster of small earthquakes just south of the summit crater and some ground deformation. The entire episode came to an end at 12:55 p.m., at which time inflation began and seismic tremor decreased. Tilt meters recorded about 22.5 microradians of deflation during this episode. No changes have been detected in the east or southwest rift zones, and the volcano alert level for Kilauea remains at watch.
And that was the volcano eruption news. Again, shot up, not as big of a lava flow as previous eruptions earlier on, but still an impressive show for sure. So, guys, that's pretty much all I have in the news. Also, I just wanted to put out a quick announcement. Let me know in the comment section below. You can either let me know in the comments over here on the sidebar chat, right here up on screen before we finish this up, or let me know in the comments below in the YouTube comment section if you come in after the video, and let me know if you guys would be interested in every now and then doing a spiritual Sunday live stream where we talk about religion, philosophy, and spirituality and other interesting stuff like that. Rexus Prime says, have a good night. You have a good night too, Rexus Prime. Thank you for joining in the stream, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to do a spiritual Sunday live stream at any point. That'd be pretty interesting, I think. And, maybe we can have Rexus Prime come on the stream, or we can have someone else come on the stream or something as a guest. And just let me know if you guys want that. And yeah, pretty much that wraps this thing up. That's all I had in the news. And yeah, this has been the Nomadic Cole. And this has been Nomadic News. Thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe for more epic, awesome, cool, funny, and interesting content. Just like this one right here, right now, on the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel, because this shit is for your entertainment. That's right, people. This shit is for your entertainment. So again, leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe for more. It helps me out so much, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, that is pretty much all we have. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the show. This has been the Nomadic Cole, signing off.